Hello and welcome to episode 3 of my F122 MyTeam career mode. If you did miss the last episode, make sure to go and check that one out. Pretty fun race, but yeah, we've got the Spanish Grand Prix today and we start things off with an event.
News article has a question they'd like your input on.
So we've got to choose our rival. We have Vettel, Latifi and Schumacher in the Aston Martin, the Williams and the Haas respectively, but I want a challenge, so let's go for the toughest driver there.
These kinds of decisions can be challenging, but I think you made the right call.
And yeah, we've got a couple of things to do. We've hit acclaim level 5, so we can actually choose our first secondary sponsor. Now, we do need the money, but we also need to be realistic in the goal that we're going to get. I'd rather go for something with less weekly income, but something where something with a goal that we can do pretty consistently. So I've gone for the top 14 finishers. I think that's kind of where we're at, and that's where we're aiming to kind of finish each race. So I think we can consistently get that sponsor goal bonus. Just adding the new sponsor onto the car, and we'll get on to our facilities, not as facilities as R&D. Now we've got a couple of upgrades to do. We need to make sure we keep on top of that, so we're going to do a weight reduction upgrade. That should actually develop the car quite a lot there. We've also got an ARS upgrade that's hopefully going to come in. I would like to do some more engine power. We've got a rear downforce upgrade on the way as well, so I want to do a front downforce one after that as well to balance it out. So yeah, as you can see on the progress there, Aston Martin have pulled away from us a little bit, and Williams are catching, so yeah, we need to watch that. We need to really be getting on top of these upgrades and pushing as Haas pull away from us as well. It's quite a fight in the midfield there. But we go on to the activity timeline then. I'm going to pretty much do all of these activities except for the power department focus one, like I usually do, just because those department focus ones, they take away some of the points from the other departments. So
we had a major issue on the production line earlier this week, so the entire development package for the weekend has failed. Any redevelopments will need to be ordered from the R&D screen.
Yeah, so that's his ARS upgrade not coming through, which is annoying. We haven't had much luck with these upgrades so far, but that one's definitely going to come in now. We'll see how the Venturi tunnels do. That one does come in, so that's good. We have another event.
Got an issue we'd like your input on.
So this is just another swapping a bit of cash for some team acclaim. It's only 50k, so
thanks for stepping in.
We get 750 acclaim, so I think it makes sense for us to do that. So we advance time once again, carry on, and yeah, all those activities come through.
Our new parts have completed without issue. They'll be on the car ready for the next race weekend.
So once again we have another event.
We're happy regardless of what you choose.
Famous action movie star and closet F1 fan Clay Donovan is going to be local for the next few weeks. He's been in touch asking quite politely for a Hollywood type, whether we'd permit him on the tour of the factory. Same thing, we're going to swap a bit of cash for some acclaim, and we're actually up to level 7 now, so that's quite helpful. So we have a season break, just because of the kind of gap between the two Grand Prix that we decided to choose. But we can advance time. There's the ARS upgrade coming in.
Okay, we've had the new parts come through the fabrication process. We'll have them with us for the next Grand Prix.
And I am looking at maybe getting some more upgrades on the facilities. I don't think we can quite afford just yet. But it seems that rear downforce upgrade did come in. I'm going to go ahead and do the front one. It's not going to come in for Monaco, which is quite annoying. It's going to come in for Canada, hopefully, where it's more about engine power is that track, but that's okay.
The another event department has requested your input on this one.
So similarly to one we've had before, actually, it looks like there's another social media crisis. We lose a bit of acclaim if we apologise, or we lose a bit of cash if we ignore it. So I want to keep the acclaim, so we're just going to ignore it.
Wants me to pass on their thanks for helping out.
It's only 20k, so it's not a huge amount. As
Hey boss, I think we could better manage our time by organising some team activities. Head to the activities screen to see what we have available.
But yeah, that's another upgrade that's not come in. That's a chassis upgrade, the weight reduction upgrade. That is going to come in for Monaco though if we repurchase it, and that's going to be really, really important, I think, having a lighter car for Monaco. Just because of all the tight corners, I think having that weight reduction, it's going to be massive for us there. So yeah, not too bad in the end. It would have been nice to have it for Spain. But we're looking at some more upgrades. We don't really have the resource points, so maybe after practice we can purchase some more. There's another event.
Need some assistance to reach a resolution here.
So it's an F1 esports event. They want VIPs to attend it. If we accept, it does lower his racecraft, but it puts his acclaim up. But I'd rather.
I appreciate you taking the time to help out.
I'd rather not have his racecraft affected for this one, so I'm going to skip these Pirelli things and let's go then to the race weekend. I'll see you in qualifying. And qualifying didn't go so well.
Okay, let's update the setup.
It was absolutely siling it down, as you can see, and this is as first as soon as we start the lap, there's me going off wide. But the conditions are just really, really bad as we come into coming for his first flying lap. This is then been really kind of careful on the throttle as we come across this first corner. Really tentative, but even on like half throttle, it just goes round, and yeah, we make a bit of a mess of that. So it's not going well to start off with. And as you can see further on, this is lap 3. This is. And we're not finding any time. It's heavy rain and it's just getting wetter and wetter, and I think it's time for the full wet tyres. And yeah, we're currently down in P19, so the track's not getting any quicker. So yeah, I think this has not gone so well, as we've got a car behind us, and yeah, we make contact and lose a bit of the front wing, and then we loop it. So that's a pretty catastrophic qualifying, and just like in Australia, yeah, we're going to be starting from the back of the grid once again. Not great, but with that, let's go to the race then.
The Spanish Grand Prix has been a permanent fixture on the Formula One calendar for over 30 years now, and for good reason. Do you remember Michael Schumacher's absolute dominance here in that rain-soaked Grand Prix in 1996? That day he took his first ever victory for Ferrari, and we've had many more iconic moments since. It's a sellout crowd of 140,000 here today as we await lights out for the 730-metre sprint down into Turn 1. This is a 2.9-mile racetrack. Overtaking is challenging through the 16 corners, but there's still a lot of high-speed excitement to be found, including the flat-out Turn 3 and the terrifying blind right of Turn 9. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Russell, Hamilton, Carlos Sainz and Perez, Norris, Fernando Alonso, Ricciardo and Esteban Ocon, Bottas, Joe, Kevin Magnussen and Tsunoda, Vettel, Albon, Pierre Gasly and Mick Schumacher, Yuri Vips, Latifi, Stroll and Evans. Now it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Alright, in terms of strategy, we're starting at the back. We've got nothing to lose, and I absolutely love Spain. It's one of my favourite tracks. So we're actually going to just go ahead and do the two-stop, because, yeah, like I say, I love this track, and I'd rather be on the softer tyres and do the extra stop. And, you know, in real F1, Spain can always be hit and miss as to how exciting of a race it can be. So maybe our 2-stop can spice things up a little bit. Or with that, on go the 5 red lights. And the lights go out, and it's away we go. As a famous commentator once said, said many times, it's not an amazing start for us, but we come into T1 kind of pile in. It's not a great start for Vips either, as we go side by side with his teammate, and while we're on these soft tyres we need to make as many positions as possible. So these first few laps, this first stint is just going to be absolutely full send, as we have Latifi in front of us, our new rival. I said I wanted a challenge, so we'll see what we can do with him, as we're very, very nearly going to the back of him there. It's 2x2 through that left-hander, and yeah, there we are as we go chasing after Stroll and Latifi. They're still side by side there, and you'll see here Vips actually pokes his nose in, but we're having none of that. Like I say, we need to be going full send here, and full send is exactly what we do, up the inside of Latifi in that left-hander. Probably my favourite overtaking spot as we go around this kind of long right-hander. You see in the mirrors there, I just pull away from Latifi with the extra grip from these soft tyres, and kind of pushing, well, not quite pushing Stroll, but nearly pushing Stroll through that corner, as that's the first lap done. And then we're going to carry on chasing after Stroll then, see if we can make a move work round the outside. Not quite, but we've got him in his sights, and we're going to keep on going as we're pushing him through this left-hander then, up a gear to get a bit of extra traction out the corner. And look at the amount of speed we carry through there compared to Stroll, as he's going to go defensive. That's fine, we'll go right the way around the outside of the left-hander then, and there we go, as we're still side by side actually, so he's not giving up, but we managed to get the job done. Onto Sebastian Vettel now then, the man who's now retired from F1, so this is potentially the last time we'll see him in an F1 game, or maybe he'll come back as one of the legends you can kind of sign. I hope so, and it'd be nice to see Kimi Raikkonen in there as well. But anyway, and once again through that right-hander, look at the extra grip we have. We're able to carry so much more speed, and we're going to send it up the inside then of the right-hander, and that's another car we've kind of dealt with then and got behind us. So we've passed both the Aston Martins then and one of the Williams. We've now got Pierre Gasly in front of us, so he's not having a great race compared to some of his other ones then, as we're going to go chasing after Gasly, and DRS has been activated now, so we can use that to our advantage. And once again in the braking zones, we've just gained so much time on him on these soft tyres, and we're going to go then right up behind him, and we get actually a pretty decent exit there. And I'm thinking of a move here, and it's a bit of a strong move, pushing him out a little bit wide there, but we've got to be aggressive in this opening stint, and perhaps I was a bit too quick to make that move, because he's going to have the DRS on me now then, so that might have not been the most intelligent move in the world. But we're going to try squeeze him right the way to the inside, but he's going to actually get past us, but we're actually going to carry the speed round the outside and re-overtake him then, as we go round the right-hander once again. And yeah, we just carry so much more speed and pull out a gap, so up to P17 then. So we're not doing too bad, we're making up positions. This is exactly what we needed to be doing, and we've actually got Albon and Schumacher up ahead of us in the Williams and the Haas, and we're going to skip forward then onto lap 6 as we actually catch these guys up then, and we're going to see if we can make a move on Schumacher down this kind of back straight then. DRS open, using plenty of ERS. It's a bit of a lunge from quite far back, but once again the closing speed on the soft tyres is just too much for him, as we're right up behind Albon then through that right-hander. We're going to see if we can get a move done on him as we're kind of pushing him through these corners. We've got so much more speed than the Williams. Albon doing pretty well actually, just like in real life, to kind of drag that Williams up the grid a little bit, but we have got Schumacher behind us and he's going to have DRS. We have DRS as well from Albon, so we do have the DRS there to help us out, but he's going to send it up the inside, nearly goes into Albon there actually, but we defend from Schumacher and get the job done then, and we can go chasing after Albon. You did see there we're actually coming into this lap to make us pit stop, so this is just going to be all about getting as much of a gap as we can as we skip forward in the lap a little bit onto the back straight, and we have so much more speed with the DRS. Once again it's a bit of a dive bomb there into the left-hander, but we ain't stopping for no one, we ain't got the time to, so yeah, we're actually going to come in this lap. We're up to P15. Obviously we're still going to have an extra pit stop on everyone, so we'll see what happens there, but with the extra pace on the firstly the fresh mediums compared to everyone else's 7-year-old mediums, we should have a good pace advantage, especially at the end of the race where everyone's going to be on kind of used hards and we're going to be on another fresh set of mediums, so we'll see what happens. We'll see what the gap is when we come out. Obviously we're going to go back to the back of the grid, but it's a pretty decent pit stop actually, and we're going to see what the gap is as out we come. So one stop left, it's going to be about a 13, maybe 14 second gap we have to close down, but we're on the younger tyres, the fresher tyres, and on lap 8 actually, I'm not the only one doing the 2 stoppers. The home favourite then, Carlos Sainz, he actually started on the softs, and he's going to come in on lap 8 until lap 9 for his set of mediums. So Sainz doing a 2 stop as well. We'll keep an eye on him as lap 10 this is, and he's right on the back on Pierre Gasly. He came out in P17 and he's making moves then on Gasly as they go side by side then through that left-hander where I like to make the move. It then goes to the right-hander. He's got the inside line, so that's Sainz ahead of Gasly, and for Sainz he needs to be doing basically what we just did and just get as many of these cars out the way as he possibly can. He is in a Ferrari, which I think are one of the top, if not the top team on the performance chart at the minute, as he goes side by side with Schumacher then into T1, and he's actually going to lunge Albon as well there, so he kind of gets a double overtake as he goes right around the outside, and that's Sainz then up into P40, and yeah, this is us then on the same lap, lap 10 onto lap 11. We have an 11 second gap now, so we have closed the gap down a bit, but that's Nicholas Latifi out the session. Just like in Bahrain, that's his second DNF in 3 races, so no matter what happens, we've actually beat his rival there, and that's going to be a free position for us. But we go back then to this man Carlos Sainz on the next lap, lap 12. He's now right on the back of Magnussen, looking to make some more moves, and he's just on an absolute charge through this field as he gets right. Look at him, he's right on the gearbox of Magnussen, following him so closely there. It's amazing how close these cars can follow each other, both on in real life and on this game as well, it would seem, as he's going to come down the straight then like he did to Schumacher, Magnussen's teammate, and Albon. He's going to go up the inside, and will he make the move on Tsunoda as well? I don't think he's quite close enough this time, but I bet the home fans are going to be loving this, seeing the home favourite kind of charge through the field like this. And a bit further on in the lap then, as it goes up the inside of Tsunoda, going into the left-hander after the back straight, side by side again, and he's going to get ahead. So he's just ticking cars off his Sainz. He is absolutely on one, is the lad. He is definitely putting on a show for his home fans, and I don't think he's quite done yet. As we come on to lap 14, that's Bottas in the pits, And I think those the medium tyre runners, the one-stoppers, are starting to come in for their first pit stops then. So we'll see where Sainz comes out in all of this, and as well as ourselves, as Sainz is past Zhou Guanyu as well now. So we come through then onto lap 15, and we'll see where we're going to come out, as we actually just get ahead of Bottas. So we're up into P18 now. Obviously another lap to go, because the teams will be doing a split strategy, so still some more cars to pit, as Fernando Alonso is out of the session, another one of the home favourites, and we'll see what happens to him. I think, is it going to be an engine failure? He is going very slowly there, holding up actually Perez and Norris, so it was doing well actually to be in front of Sergio Perez there, up in P5. That's amazing for the Alpine, but yeah, it's a big shame that yeah, Spanish driver out of the Spanish Grand Prix. As we come through onto lap 17 then, as everyone has now made their pit stops, and we are up into P10, and catching actually Ocon and Ricciardo. And Sainz, he's come out in P6, and he's right on the back of these two Mercedes here, Hamilton and Russell. Now, me and Sainz still have another stop to make, as Sainz goes up the inside of Hamilton then. Hamilton on the hard tyres, which I assume will still be cold, but he's not giving it up easy, as they go side by side then. They come into the left-hander, and it's Hamilton still on the inside, Sainz trying to go around the outside like we tried earlier, and they're still side by side. This is an absolutely titanic scrap between these two drivers, but it does look like Sainz is just about going to come out on top. As we come down the straight then, is going to get DRS open, and that's Sainz up into P5. As now Verstappen comes in on lap 18. He actually started the race on the hard tyres, so I think Perez did as well. So Red Bull starting on the hards, going on to the mediums at the end, so they're going to have the pace now. It was Charles Leclerc who was leading the race, and there he is in the background. And I think that's Perez close behind him, so we'll see where Verstappen comes out, and Leclerc's just going to get him, as is his teammate Perez, I think. But remember, Perez also has to pit on the next lap, and yeah, Verstappen, he has, what's that, about a 3-second gap behind Leclerc, with 14 laps to go on the medium tyres. So this could be a bit spicy. Leclerc won the first 2 races, remember, so we'll see what he can do, see if he can get his 3rd race victory, or see if Verstappen can upset that. But lap 18, we're going to come in now for our 2nd stop. It wasn't a particularly interesting stint, it was just kind of us sticking with Ocon and Ricciardo there to try and pull out as big a gap as we can. And that's us as we come out the pit stops then. We're actually going to come out ahead of his teammate, but down in P19. But we only have, what's that, a 4.5 second gap to Albon, and we have 14 laps left, and we're on the much fresher medium tyres, so it's going to be a mad dash to the end, as that's Perez coming in then for his pit stop. And it's really interesting actually to see how these strategies are going to play out. Now, there's Sainz, he's actually attacking Russell, he's still got another pit stop to make. So I think he probably isn't going to be in this fight with Russell and Hamilton. It depends if he can get past Russell, which it looks like he can, but I don't think he's going to create a big enough of a gap before his next pit stop to get a free pit stop on there. So we'll see what happens, but there's Perez coming out of the pits now then, and he's about 15-16 seconds behind Hamilton, who's about a second behind Sainz. So we'll see where Sainz comes out, if he comes out ahead of Norris or not. Meanwhile, we've got some other battles happening a bit further down the grid. Here's Zhou Guanyu on Yuki Tsunoda. These guys have been scrapping in the first 2 races as well. A bit of a rivalry kind of forming between these two, but Zhou gets the move done down the straight. I think the Ferrari engines had an upgrade coming into this race, as they look really good on the straights, so look out for those Ferrari powered cars. Anyway, in comes Sainz. He was in P3, he's going to come in for his last pit stop on lap 20 this is, so he's gone a bit longer. And what we're looking out for is to see where he comes out compared to the likes of Perez. But here's Magnussen then. We're talking about the Ferrari powered engines. He's now catching up to Tsunoda, and we'll see if he can get a move done on the Honda powered car, that is the Alpha Tauri, as it goes side by side then down the back straight, and Magnussen's going to try and get it round the outside of Tsunoda in the long left-hander, and they're still side by side, but Magnussen's going to have the inside for this next corner, and I don't think Tsunoda can just keep it level coming out of that corner, so that's another position gained for Magnussen. So we go back to Sainz, he's in the pits then, and out he comes, and where is he going to come out compared to Perez? And Norris isn't far behind Perez either, and there's Perez, he's overtaken Sainz, and there's Norris. So Sainz actually comes out in P7, and he's got 12 laps left now on fresh rubber to see what sort of position he can end up in. Back to our POV though, we're on lap 20 ourselves as we back with Albon again, see if we can make a move on him to re-overtake him. Remember, making that second pit stop kind of put us towards the back of the grid again, but we get Albon then up into P18, 13 laps left in this Grand Prix as we close up on Stroll then on lap 23 this is, and yeah, we're absolutely flying on these tyres as we're going to go for a massive lunge. We make a little bit of contact there. I think I took a bit of a chunk out of his front wing end plate, but no damage for us, as it was an aggressive move, but that's what we've got to do with this strategy. We've got to just go full send at the end of this race, and if you look in front of us actually, there's a bit of a gaggle of about 3 cars. There's Gasly there, I think Schumacher and Vettel are also in that little battle, so if we can catch up to them, we could be looking at, around P14, which is what we need, of course, for our new secondary sponsor goal. But here's Sainz then on lap 24, the old Carlando bromance there, but see it out on track, and Sainz is just going to cruise past Norris with the DRS on that straight, and that's Sainz now up into P6. He's got a 4-second gap to Perez, so we'll see what he can do there, as we're on lap 26, and we are closing on Schumacher and Gasly and this little gaggle of cars, as we look for another send, but we're not quite close enough this time, so we just kind of have to follow Schumacher through, trying to go around the outside, but we don't really have the speed as we look up his inside, being really aggressive. A bit of contact again, but no damage as we push him through the last corners, and we're really trying to put the pressure on him, see if we can get a mistake out of him as we come onto the start-finish straight then. DRS open, pretty of ERS used, and look at the amount or the gap that we're closing down there. We went to the inside to try and dummy him as we go around the outside, and we get the better run out the corner. Fair play to him, he's still sticking his nose in there as we go side by side through this long right-hander, and yeah, he gets the position back. We're going to switch back to the inside though, and we're just going to send it through the tightest of gaps, but we managed to make it work, and that's us now up into P16 with Vettel and Gasly close in front of us. I think we can get this P14 first time of asking. So here we go then, lap 28, we've got the DRS 3/10 behind as we close up in the braking zone, right on the back of Pierre Gasly in the Alpha Tauri. We're probably not going to be able to get the move here as we once again try it round the outside. A bit of oversteer there as we're just getting a little bit carried away, as I know that there's only 5 laps left, so we need to get this move done so we can focus on getting Vettel. But we're going to come once again onto this start-finish straight, get the DRS open, get the ERS deployed in the slipstream. The gap is 3/10 once again. I don't think we're close enough for a move, but we're going to try it anyway, and from a million miles back we absolutely send it. on Pierre Gasly then and get the move done. We sent that one from back here in Yorkshire. Absolutely crazy stuff. But now in these final laps we can focus on chasing this man down, Sebastian Vettel. Tsunoda's only 4.5 seconds in front as well. So depending on how quick we get past Vettel, we could potentially catch Tsunoda. I think we've got the pace for it. But one thing at a time here as we look to try and get on the back of Vettel as we come into this right-hander. Just checking for floor damage as I got on that sausage curb a little bit there. But DRS open, using some ARS in the slipstream. We close up massively in the braking zone once again, and we're going to see if we can make a move then as we come into this long right-hander. And then we're right on his back, and we're going to look for this little gap here then as we get a bit of a better exit once again, making an overtake in that right-hander, being a bit aggressive, pushing him out a little bit. But like I say, that's just what we've got to do with this strategy. So there it is, the P14. We now have 3 or 4 laps to chase down Tsunoda, 3 laps that is, and we've got a 4.8 second gap. Meanwhile, this man Carlos Sainz, on the last lap of the Grand Prix this is, chasing down Sergio Perez for that P5. He's put on an amazing show for the Spanish fans today. I mean, absolute overtake galore for Sainz, but he is going to get Sergio Perez, and that's going to be Sainz up into P5. So yeah, fantastic stuff for him on the last lap of this Grand Prix. And I think he's going to stay ahead, especially with that Ferrari power. But it is going to be his teammate, Charles Leclerc, who's going to bring it home. Verstappen couldn't quite keep up with him. I think with that Ferrari power, he's just steamrolled another Grand Prix. That's 3 in a row now. And Leclerc looking absolutely dominant in this championship so far. As we close up to Tsunoda on the last lap within a second, but it's just not quite going to be enough in the end. But we're finishing P14 from last on the grid with a 2-stop strategy, so I'm more than happy with that, and it's been a lot of fun as this race. Very interesting to see the different strategies play out, and we've seen plenty of overtakes, and what a race it's been. I am more than happy with our performance today.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
They've done it then. A spectacular victory here in Spain and a massive confidence boost going into the next race. So Natalie, what do you think helped them deliver this result?
Well, they certainly stood out as a driver with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
Looking at the podium, you can see that red suit familiar to fans across the globe. A world-class win for a world-class team. Ferrari do it again.
Indeed they do it again. Charles Leclerc, 3 races, 3 victories. So absolutely dominating this championship so far. We'll see what happens in the next race, because we go to Monaco next, and it's been a bit cursed Grand Prix for Charles Leclerc's his home Grand Prix. But yeah, there we go guys. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. I'll see you all in the next episode.